That cup of tea you are drinking right now might contain pesticides, heavy metals, and plastic particles that are slowly accumulating in your body. And the tea companies selling these products know exactly what they are putting in those bags. But they are betting you will never read the fine print or ask the hard questions. Your daily tea contains hidden toxins. Tonight, we are exposing 8 major tea brands sold in every grocery store across America. Brands you have trusted for years, brands that market themselves as healthy, natural, and pure. And I am warning you, what independent laboratory testing has revealed about these teas is going to make you dump every box in your pantry tonight. We are talking about pesticide residues that exceed safe limits set by other countries, heavy metal contamination from soil and processing, plastic particles leaching from tea bags into your hot water, and artificial flavoring chemicals that have no business being in a product marketed as natural tea. Pesticides exceeding international safety limits. Stick around until the end because I am going to tell you which tea brands are actually safe to drink. The ones that test clean for contaminants and use real tea leaves instead of chemical flavoring. But first, you need to know which brands to avoid immediately. But before we dive into these disturbing details, if you care about what you are putting in your body every morning and want to stay informed about the products in your pantry, hit that subscribe button. Because tea companies are banking on you trusting their marketing instead of demanding independent testing. Let us prove them wrong. Brand 1. Lipton. Let me start with the biggest name in American tea. Lipton dominates grocery store shelves with their yellow label and promises of quality tea. But independent laboratory testing reveals that Lipton tea contains some of the highest pesticide residue levels of any major brand. Testing conducted by multiple independent labs found residues of over 20 different pesticides in Lipton tea products. We are talking about chemicals like endosulfan, monocrotophos, and acetamiprid. These are neurotoxic pesticides that have been banned or restricted in many countries but are still used on tea crops. Over 20 different pesticide residues found. But here's what makes this particularly disturbing. The pesticide levels in some Lipton products exceed the maximum residue limits set by the European Union. Tea that is legally sold in American grocery stores would be rejected and banned from sale in Europe. You are drinking tea that fails European safety standards. Lipton sources tea from massive industrial plantations in countries with minimal environmental regulations. These plantations spray heavily with pesticides and herbicides to maximize yield. The result is tea leaves saturated with chemical residues that end up in your cup. Tea fails European safety standards. The tea bags themselves present another problem. Lipton uses paper tea bags that are bleached with chlorine. This bleaching process can create dioxins, which are highly toxic compounds that accumulate in the body. Every time you steep a Lipton tea bag, you are potentially exposing yourself to dioxin contamination. Testing also found plastic particles in brewed Lipton tea. Many Lipton tea bags contain polypropylene, a type of plastic used to seal the bags. When you pour boiling water over these bags, microscopic plastic particles leach into your tea. You are literally drinking plastic with every cup. Drinking microscopic plastic particles, former Lipton employees report that the company uses the lowest grade tea leaves available, often tea dust and fannings rather than whole leaves. This tea waste is a byproduct of processing higher quality teas. Lipton packages this waste and sells it as premium tea while charging $4 to $6 per box. The flavored Lipton teas are even worse. The natural flavors listed on the label are actually synthetic, chemicals manufactured in laboratories. That lemon flavor in your tea? It is not from lemons. It is from chemical compounds designed to mimic lemon flavor. You are drinking artificially flavored tea dust contaminated with pesticides and plastic. Brand 2. Celestial Seasonings. Celestial Seasonings markets itself as a natural herbal tea company with wholesome ingredients and earthy values. The colorful boxes with inspirational quotes create an image of purity and wellness. But laboratory testing reveals a very different reality. Independent analysis found that 91% of Celestial Seasonings teas tested positive for pesticide residues. That is one of the highest contamination rates of any tea brand tested. The herbal teas that Celestial Seasonings is famous for are loaded with agricultural chemicals. 91% contain pesticide residues. The testing found particularly high levels of propergite, a pesticide that is classified as a possible human carcinogen. This chemical was detected in multiple Celestial Seasonings products at levels that would be illegal in Europe. You are drinking tea with cancer-linked pesticides. But here is where the deception gets worse. Celestial Seasonings labels their products as natural and uses imagery suggesting organic, wholesome ingredients. But the vast majority of their teas are not organic. They are conventional teas grown with intensive pesticide use. The natural label is marketing, not a guarantee of purity. Natural label is marketing, not purity. The company sources herbs and botanicals from suppliers around the world with varying quality standards. Former employees report that ingredient testing is minimal. Batches that would be rejected by more rigorous companies make it into Celestial Seasonings products and onto grocery store shelves. Testing also revealed that Celestial Seasonings tea bags contain plastic fibers. The bags are made from a blend of paper and plastic that releases particles when exposed to hot water. Every cup of Celestial Seasonings tea contains plastic contamination. Every cup contains plastic contamination. The herbal blends that Celestial Seasonings is known for often contain artificial flavoring to enhance taste. That sleepy time tea with its comforting chamomile flavor? It contains natural and artificial flavors that are chemical additives, not just herbs. The ingredient list hides the truth behind vague terms. At $4 to $7 per box, Celestial Seasonings charges premium prices for herbal teas contaminated with pesticides and plastic. You are paying for marketing and packaging while getting tea that is far from the natural, pure product the branding suggests. 4. Twinings. Twinings is one of the oldest tea companies in the world with over 300 years of history. The British heritage and royal warrant create an image of quality and tradition. But modern Twinings tea sold in America is far from the premium product the branding suggests. Independent testing found pesticide residues in Twinings tea products, including chemicals that are restricted in Europe where the company is based. The irony is devastating. Twinings sells cleaner tea in Europe while exporting contaminated tea to American consumers who have weaker safety regulations. Cleaner tea in Europe contaminated for America. The tea bags used in American Twinings products contain plastic fibers that leach into hot water. Testing detected microplastic particles in brewed Twinings tea. The company markets their tea as pure and natural while packaging it in bags that contaminate the final product. Twinings sources tea from large-scale plantations with conventional growing practices. The premium image does not match the reality of industrial agriculture with heavy pesticide use. You are paying for heritage and marketing while getting mass-produced tea. Paying for heritage, getting mass production. The flavored Twinings teas contain artificial flavoring compounds. That English breakfast blend with its robust flavor? It contains added flavoring to create consistency, not just pure tea. The Lady Grey with its citrus notes? Artificial bergamot and citrus flavoring. Testing also revealed fluoride levels in Twinings tea that approach concerning concentrations. Tea plants naturally accumulate fluoride from soil, but excessive fluoride consumption can cause health problems. Regular Twinings tea drinkers may be getting more fluoride than is healthy. At $6 to $9 per box, Twinings charges premium prices based on heritage branding. But you are drinking tea with pesticide residues, plastic bag contamination, artificial flavoring, and elevated fluoride levels that the company does not disclose. Elevated fluoride levels not disclosed. Brand 5. Tazo markets itself as exotic, adventurous tea with bold flavors and premium ingredients. The brand was started as a specialty tea company but was bought by Starbucks, then sold to Unilever. That corporate ownership has transformed Tazo from specialty tea to mass-market product. Laboratory testing found that Tazo teas contain pesticide residues and artificial flavoring despite marketing that emphasizes natural ingredients and worldly sourcing. The exotic branding is covering up conventional mass production. Exotic branding covers mass production. The tea bags Tazo uses contain plastic materials that release particles into hot water. Testing detected microplastics in multiple Tazo tea varieties. You are drinking plastic contamination while paying premium prices for supposedly pure tea. Tazo sources ingredients from suppliers with varying quality standards. The passion fruit, lemongrass, and other exotic ingredients listed on the label often come from industrial farms using pesticides. Former employees report that ingredient sourcing prioritizes cost over quality. Sourcing prioritizes cost over quality. The natural flavors in Tazo teas are synthetic chemical compounds manufactured to create specific taste profiles. That passion tea, with its tropical fruit flavor, artificial flavoring dominates over actual fruit ingredients. The Zen tea with its lemongrass and spearmint, chemical flavoring enhances minimal actual herbs. Testing revealed that some Tazo tea bags contain significantly less tea than claimed on the packaging. The bags are filled with herbs and flavoring, but the actual tea content is minimal. You are paying for exotic marketing while getting mostly filler ingredients. At $6 to $10 per box, Tazo charges specialty tea prices, but you are getting mass-produced tea with pesticide contamination, plastic bag materials, artificial flavoring, and misleading ingredient quantities. Brand 6. Tetley is another heritage British tea brand that has been sold in America for decades. The company markets itself as delivering British tea quality and tradition. But testing reveals that Tetley tea contains concerning contaminants. Independent analysis found pesticide residues in Tetley tea products, including chemicals that are banned in the United Kingdom, where the brand originated. American Tetley tea does not meet the same standards as British Tetley tea. You are getting an inferior product. American version inferior to British. The tea bags Tetley uses are made with materials that contain plastic fibers. When exposed to boiling water, these bags release microplastic particles into your tea. Laboratory testing confirmed plastic contamination in brewed Tetley tea. Tetley sources tea from large industrial plantations that use conventional agriculture practices. The quality of tea leaves is lower than what the British heritage branding suggests. Former employees report that Tetley uses broken leaves and fannings rather than premium whole leaf tea. Uses broken leaves, not premium whole leaf. The flavored Tetley teas contain natural and artificial flavors that are chemical additives. The green tea with lemon flavor contains artificial lemon compounds. The Earl Grey contains synthetic, bergamot flavoring. Nothing is purely natural despite marketing claims. Testing also found elevated levels of heavy metals in some Tetley tea products. Specifically, aluminum and lead were detected at levels that raise health concerns with regular consumption. Tea plants can absorb heavy metals from contaminated soil, and Tetley does not appear to test rigorously for this. At $4 to $7 per box, Tetley positions itself as affordable quality. But you are drinking tea with pesticide residues, plastic contamination, artificial flavoring, and heavy metal levels that the company does not disclose to consumers. Heavy metals not disclosed to consumers. Brand 7. Red Rose. Red Rose tea has been an American staple for over 100 years. The brand is known for affordability and the collectible figurines that used to come in every box. But beneath that nostalgic marketing is tea with serious quality and safety problems. Laboratory testing found that Red Rose tea contains some of the highest pesticide residue levels of any brand tested. Multiple samples tested positive for over 15 different pesticides, including several that are banned in Europe and Canada. Over 15 different pesticides detected. The tea itself is the lowest grade available. Red Rose uses tea dust and fannings, the waste product from processing higher quality teas. This dust is packaged in bleached paper bags that add dioxin contamination to already low-quality tea. Testing revealed plastic particles in brewed Red Rose tea from the bag materials. The bags contain synthetic fibers that break down in hot water and contaminate your cup. You are drinking plastic residue with every serving. Drinking plastic residue with every serving Red Rose sources tea from the cheapest suppliers available, which means minimal quality control and maximum pesticide use. The company prioritizes keeping costs low over ensuring product safety. At $3 to $5 per box, Red Rose seems affordable until you understand what you are actually getting. Former employees report that Red Rose has not updated their sourcing or quality standards in decades. The tea you are drinking today is produced using the same low standards and cheap ingredients that were acceptable 50 years ago. Nothing has improved. The fluoride levels in Red Rose tea are among the highest tested. Regular consumption could lead to fluoride overexposure, which causes dental and skeletal problems. The company provides no warnings about fluoride content. At bargain prices, Red Rose seems like good value, but you are drinking tea dust contaminated with 15 plus pesticides, plastic particles from bags, dioxins from bleaching, elevated fluoride, all from the lowest quality tea available. Lowest quality tea available? Brand 8, Salada. Let me end with a brand that represents everything wrong with mass market tea. Salada has been selling cheap tea in America for over 120 years, but this heritage means nothing when the product is contaminated with pesticides, plastics, and heavy metals. Independent testing found that Salada tea contains pesticide residues at levels approaching the maximum legal limits. The tea is grown on industrial plantations with heavy chemical use, then minimally processed and packaged in contaminated materials. Pesticide levels approaching legal maximums. The tea bags contain plastic fibers that release microparticles into hot water. Every cup of Salada tea contains plastic contamination. Testing confirmed that Salada has one of the highest microplastic counts of any tea brand. Salada uses the absolute cheapest tea available, primarily dust and fannings. The bags are filled with tea waste that other companies discard. You are drinking the garbage that premium tea manufacturers throw away. Drinking garbage from premium manufacturers. The bleached paper bags add dioxin contamination. The low-quality tea contains elevated heavy metals from contaminated soil. The result is a product that fails on every measure of quality and safety. Former employees describe a company that has not invested in quality improvements or updated sourcing standards in generations. Salada exists to sell the cheapest possible tea to consumers who do not know better. The company counts on customer ignorance to maintain sales. At $2 to $4 per box, Salada is the cheapest tea available. And you get exactly what you pay for. Tea waste contaminated with pesticides, plastic particles, dioxins, and heavy metals. This is not a bargain. This is poison marketed as tea. Poison marketed as tea. The tea brands you can trust. After exposing all those problems, you need to know which tea brands are actually safe. Here are brands that test clean, use quality ingredients, and package responsibly. Numi Organic Tea Sources certified organic tea and herbs, tests every batch for contaminants, and uses compostable tea bags with no plastic. The company is transparent about sourcing and testing. You are getting real quality, certified organic, with transparent testing. Traditional Medicinals uses organic herbs, tests rigorously for pesticides and heavy metals, and packages in unbleached bags without plastic. The company publishes testing results online. Complete transparency. Rishi Tea offers organic certified teas sourced directly from quality farms. They test for over 300 contaminants and use compostable packaging. The tea is premium quality with verified purity. Yogi Tea uses organic ingredients, tests for contaminants, and packages in unbleached bags. The herbal blends are formulated by herbalists using real ingredients, not artificial flavoring. Organic India sources certified organic tea from their own farms, tests extensively, and uses compostable packaging. The company maintains complete control over production from farm to package. Complete control from farm to package. The common thread is organic certification, rigorous testing, and packaging that does not contaminate the tea. These brands cost more because they invest in quality rather than marketing. You are paying for actual purity, not branding. Conclusion: your daily cup matters. Vasmort. The 8 tea brands we exposed tonight all have serious problems with pesticide contamination, plastic particles, artificial ingredients, and heavy metals. When you drink tea daily, these contaminants accumulate in your body over time. Contaminants accumulate over time. When you drink Lipton, you are consuming over 20 pesticides and plastic particles. When you drink Celestial Seasonings, 91% of their teas contain pesticide residues. When you drink Twinings, you are getting inferior quality compared to European standards. When you drink Tazo, Tetley, Red Rose, or Salada, you are consuming tea with plastic contamination, undisclosed heavy metals, and pesticide residues approaching legal limits. Literally drinking contaminated tea waste. These problems exist because tea companies prioritize profit over purity. They source the cheapest tea available, use intensive pesticides, package in contaminated materials, and add artificial ingredients while spending millions on marketing. But laboratory testing reveals the truth. Independent analysis shows what these companies are actually selling, and the results should concern anyone who drinks tea regularly. Laboratory testing reveals the truth. Every dollar you spend is a vote. When you buy contaminated tea, you reward bad practices. When you choose organic, tested, transparent brands, you support companies doing things right. If this video opened your eyes to what is really in your tea, hit that subscribe button. Because tea companies are banking on you trusting their marketing instead of demanding proof of purity. Check your pantry tonight. If you have been drinking any of these 8 brands, it is time to switch. Your health is worth more than saving a few dollars on contaminated tea. What tea brand have you been drinking? Drop it in the comments below. Because when we share our experiences, we realize how many people are unknowingly drinking contaminated tea while trusting brands that do not deserve that trust.